Today, let us start with chapter Transport in Plants. Means of transport. There are three means of transport. First is diffusion, then facilitated diffusion, and active transport. First, diffusion. It moves from high concentration to low concentration, which is also known as passive transport because no energy or ATP is used. Pressure created by diffusing particles is called diffusion pressure dP. Molecules move from high dP to high diffusion pressure to low diffusion pressure. It is important process for plants as it is only way for gaseous exchange. It is a slow process and does not depend on living system or ATP or energy. Then smaller the molecule, more is the diffusion. Now factors affecting diffusion. If temperature is high, the rate of diffusion increases. The density of molecule increases, rate of diffusion decreases, concentration of medium increases, diffusion decreases. Diffusion pressure gradient dPg. Difference in concentration of the diffusion molecule between one area and another over a specific distance is known as dPg. Steeper the dPg, faster the diffusion rate goes. Now second type of transport is facilitated diffusion, which is also a passive transport which does not require ATP or energy. It follows concentration gradient and does not require ATP. Same as diffusion, but they have fixed transport proteins to carry materials. Porins are proteins which form huge pores in outer membrane of the plastids and mitochondria and some bacteria, allowing molecules of size up to small proteins. Example, water channels are made up of 8 different types of aquaporins. Passive symport and antiport and uniport are in facilitated diffusion, where symport is transport of two molecules in same direction, whereas antiport is transport of two molecules in opposite direction. Uniport is transport of one molecule independent of other molecule. Now third type of means of transport is active transport, which requires ATP. It is called as uphill movement as it moves against the concentration gradient. This is faster than both the passive transport like facilitated diffusion and diffusion. When protein pumps are used, then it is called as saturation. When all the protein pumps which are present in that layer are used, then it is called as saturation effect because it reaches to saturated. Then protein pumps are that which use energy to carry substances across the cell membrane. Now let us see the comparison between three transport mechanism or means of transport. Properties. Require special membrane proteins. In simple distribution, no, yes, and facultated, yes, active, yes. Then highly selective in nature, no, yes, yes. Then uphill transport, no, no, yes. And transport saturates, here no, yes, yes. It requires ATP energy, no, no, yes. Movement of transport proteins, not required, yes. Then response to protein inhibitors, no, yes, yes. So we have seen the difference between three means of transports. Now let us see types of membranes. First is impermeable membrane, which do not allow passage of any substance, for example suberized cell walls, cutinized cell walls, etc. Then permeable membranes, which allow any substance to pass through, for example cellulosic cell wall. Then semi-permeable membrane only allows solvent particles pass through it. Example egg membrane, parchment membrane, collodion membrane, copper ferrous cyanide membrane, etc. Then selectively or differentially permeable membrane, normally semi-permeable membrane, but it only allows some solute particles. Example plasma membrane, tonoplast, which is membrane of vacuum. Now let us know about plant-water relationship. Water is main source for plants and it becomes limiting factor as all plants need water for growth and development, and which all plants which depend upon it. Water potential. Free energy of water referred as water potential, also called as chemical potential of water. Water moves from high water potential to low water potential. Water potential of pure water during standard conditions is 0. Water potential of solute is less than water potential of pure water. So solute potential is always 0, which is represented like this, solute potential. Then when water enters plant cell, the cell becomes turgid and has pressure in it called as pressure potential, which is denoted by this, and also called as hydrostatic pressure. So solute potential and pressure potential determine the water potential. Water potential equal to solute potential plus pressure potential. Now let us move on to osmosis. This is a special type of diffusion of water across a differentially or semi-permeable membrane. Solvent of molecules form increase in concentration to decrease in concentration in presence of semi-permeable membrane. Osmosis is driven by two factors. First is concentration of dissolved solids in a solution, and again second one is pressure gradient. Pressure required to stop the process of osmosis is called as osmotic pressure. Value of both osmotic pressure and osmotic potential are same, but sign is opposite. Solute potential equal to minus pi. Here pi is osmotic potential. Now factors affecting osmotic pressure are: first is concentration of solute particles, ionization of solute molecule, then temperature, and then 4 hydration of solute particles. Now let us see difference between osmotic potential and osmotic pressure. Here osmotic potential, it is lowering of free energy of water in system due to presence of solute particles. Here hydrolytic pressure developed in a solution when it is separated from pure solvent by a semi-permeable membrane in a rigid vessel. Here osmotic potential is present whether the solution occurs in a confined system or an open system. It develops only in a confined system. The value is negative, though it is numerically equal to osmotic pressure. The value is always positive, though it is numerically equal to osmotic potential. Now let us know about plasmolysis, which the types of solutions in plasmolysis is: first is hypotonic solution, which osmotic concentration is less than another solution or cell sap. Then hypertonic solution, osmotic concentration is more than another solute or cell sap. Isotonic solution, both osmotic concentration is equal in same other solution or cell sap. The pressure of water against the cell wall is called turgor pressure. The pressure exerted by protoplast due to entry of water against the ridge walls is called as pressure potential, represented by this. Then stages of plasmolysis. First is limiting plasmolysis. Reduction in size of value and cell due to exosmosis. The protoplast in contact with the cell wall but does not press it. TP or type equal to 0. Then second type is incipient plasmolysis. It is continuous exosmosis. Decrease the size of protoplast further. TP equal to negative. Now evident plasmolysis, the final stage of plasmolysis, it is due to continuous contraction of protoplast. Here TP becomes more negative. Deplasmolysis occurs when a fleshy plasmolysed cell is placed in a hypotonic solution or pure water. The cells turn into original state from the plasmolysed one. Then commercial applications of plasmolysis. Bacteria is killed in highly salted and sweet areas. To get rid of weeds or grass, we can simply spray salt water, which leads to death of weeds or grass. Imbibition. Absorption of water by hydrophilic solid particle of a substance without forming a solution. Example, seeds, dry wood, etc. is known as imbibition. The liquid which is imbibited is known as imbibate, and phycocolloids are best imbibates. Here volume increases, produce heat. If imbibiant is confined, a great pressure is developed called imbibition pressure, IP, or metric potential, represented as this. Here magnitude of IP or imbibiant pressure is: phycocolloids had most the best imbibitants, then pectin, then protein, then starch, then cellulose. Now let us know about diffusion pressure deficient or DPD, or suction pressure SP, termed by Renner. Every liquid has its own dPt, but pure water has maximum diffusion pressure. The diffusion between the diffusion pressure of the solution and pure solvent when both are subjected to the same atmospheric pressure is called dPd. Water moves from low dPt to high dPd. It is always positive for a cell. Diffusion pressure deficient equal to osmotic pressure minus circle pressure. dPd equal to OP minus dP. So flaccid cell dP equal to 0, dPd equal to OP. If OP minus dP equal to 0, then dPd equal to 0. Now let us know about long distance transport of water. Here movement of molecules across a plant cell about 50 micrometers take approximately 2.5 seconds, where water, minerals and food generally move by mass or bulk flow system. Here bulk flow system moves by xylem and phloem. Xylem transports water, mineral salts, some organic nitrogen and hormones, whereas phloem transport organic and inorganic solutes mainly from leaves to other plants. Now let us know about plants absorbing water. Here you can see a system, two systems, symplastic pathway and apoplastic pathway. Symplastic pathway moves inside the cell like this. This is it is straight way. Here you can see symplastic pathway. Now let us discuss apoplastic pathway. Here you can see some cell wall and intercellular spaces. From here it is going like this, which is here we can see a Casparian strip, which is thick strip of suberin, which stops the water in the intercellular space or cell wall. So it enters into the endodermis, then into pericycle, then again into xylem. So from epidermis to endodermis, the water flows in a cell wall or intercellular space in apoplastic sympathway. Now let us see the difference between them. Apoplastic, symplastic. Water passes from cell walls and intercellular spaces and mixes in endodermis due to Casparian strips. Water passes in protoplasts connected by plasmodermata and do not have any barriers. It occurs due to transpirational pull and adhesion cohesion forces. It may occur due to protoplasmic streaming. It is faster, it is slower. Metabolic state of root does not affect apoplastic pathway. Then metabolic state of root directly affects on symplastic pathway. Now let us discuss about mechanism of water absorption. Two types of water absorption are seen: passive absorption, active absorption. Active absorption requires ATP. Now differences: force for possess passive absorption lies in shoot. Here force for active absorption develop in root. Transpirational pull plays key role. OP and osmotic pressure and energy play key role. Here negative pressure developed in xylem, here positive pressure is developed. Rate of absorption is high, here it is low. And here responsible for 96% of water absorption. Here only 4% of absorption is takes place in rapidly transpiring plants. Here takes place in slowly transpiring plants. Water absorption through the roots. Here also water absorption by roots. It is apoplastic, whereas it is symplastic. Now let us know factors affecting water absorption. If water in soil increases, the rate of absorption decreases. Aeration in soil increases, rate of absorption increases. Concentration of soil increases, rate of absorption decreases. Up to 30 degrees Celsius of soil temperature, the rate of absorption increases. But if it is higher than 30 degrees Celsius, then the rate of absorption decreases. Now water movement of a plant. Root pressure and transpirational pull play important role in water movement. Root pressure is positive pressure which is observed only in early morning and at night when transpiration is low. Various ions and water absorbed from the soil by roots hair are transported upwards by root pressure up to small lengths, especially in herbaceous plants. We can demonstrate root pressure by cutting herbaceous plants and fixing a glass or rubber tube above it so that we can see the water droplets accumulating in the rubber tube. Most of the water transport in plants of great height is achieved by transpiration pull. The driving force for this process is transpiration from the leaves. This is referred as cohesion tension transportational pull. Model of water transport, which is given by Dixon and Jolly. Transpirational pull allows water to flow up to 15 meters per hour. Less than 1% of water is used for photosynthesis, and all other water is lost due to stomata or transpiration. Transpiration occurs in xylem by, first is cohesion, mutual attraction between water molecules, also called as tensile strength, and tensile strength of water is 10 to 30 MPa. Adhesion, attraction of water molecules to polar substances. Then surface tension, water molecules are attracted to each other in liquid phase more than to the water in the gas phase. Now transpiration is loss of water from plants to aerial parts is called as transpiration. It is of 4 types. First is stomatal transpiration, which is 50 to 97% occurring of transpiration. Then cuticular transpiration 3 to 10%, and it is up to 50% in herbaceous plants, ferns, and herbaceous plants, ferns, and plants which grow in damp and shady areas. Then lenticular transpiration only 0.1%. Dark bark transpiration only 1%. Now let us see structure of stomata. Here you can see two stomatal structures. First is dicot stem. Here we can see first one is dicot stem. Here it is monocot stomata. Dicot stomata has kidney shape or bean shape stomata. Here we can see dumbbell shape stomata or dumbbell shape guard cells. These are guard cells, and here you can see inner thick wall and outer thin wall is present in dicot stomata, and here is the subsidiary cells around it and pore. Here you can see both thick walls are present in and out in dumbbell shape or monocot stomata. It also has subsidiary cells around it. Stomata functions as Starger operated valves. We know this. Now stomata has 3 parts: guard cells, monocot dumbbell shape, dicot bean shape, then subsidiary cells and stomatal pore. Now mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. Active clay-based transport or potassium pump theory, given by 2 Japanese scientists, S. Imamura and M. Fujino, can explain the mechanism of closing and opening of stomata. First, opening of stomata in light. The starch in the guard cells incompletely oxidize into phosphoenol pyruvate PEP. Now PEP is converted into organic acid, particularly malic acid, which is catalyzed by enzyme phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase pepcase, where malic acid is dissociated into malate ions and protons, which are H+ in guard cells. H+ ions from guard cells. H+ ions from the guard cells transport to epidermal cells, and K+ ion enter the guard cells by hydrogen potassium ion exchange pump. In guard cells, K+ ions are balanced by malate ions and small amount of Cl- ions. Ion exchange require ATP, thus it is an active process. Increased K+ and malate ions form potassium malate and stored in vacuoles of guard cells, which increases osmotic concentration, so the water enters by endosmosis. Target pressure of the guard cell increases due to endosmosis and stomata are opened. This is the process of opening of stomata. Here you can see a flow chart. First, starch and carbohydrates incompletely oxidized into PEP, then which are catalyzed by pepcase to form organic acids, mainly malic acid, and malic acid is dissociated into malate ions and H+ ion. Here H+ ion is going out into epidermal cells, and K+ ion is coming inside into the guard cells by hydrogen potassium pump. Here K+ ion are maintained due to malate ion and C- ion, and here malate ion and K+ ion are increased so that they form potassium malate and get stored in vacuole of guard cell, which leads to opening of the stomata. Now let us discuss about closing of stomata during dark. CO2 is not used during photosynthesis during night, hence its concentration in the substomatal cavity increases. An inhibitor hormone called as abscisic acid ABA functions in the presence of CO2. It inhibits K+ ions uptake and by changing the diffusion and permeability of the guard cells for positive ions. Then K+ ions are transported back to epidermal or subsidiary cells from the guard cells, and it leads to closing of stomata. Now, factors affecting transpiration. First is external factors. Light. Blue and red light are increase the transpiration rate. Absence of lights do not open stomata. Relative humidity. Humidity increases, rate of transpiration decreases. Temperature increases, transpirator increases. Wind increases, transpirator increases. Available soil water increases, transpiration increases. Now, plant factors. First, root shoot ratio. Roots absorb water, hence a low root shoot ratio decreases the rate of transpiration, or vice versa. Short plants have high root shoot ratio. Now, structure of leaf. Thick cuticle, waxy coating, thick walled hypodermis, shrunken stomata help in reducing rate of transpiration. Now, number and distribution of stomata, number of open stomata, plant water status, canopy structure, and are the other factors affecting transpiration. Now let us demonstrate transpiration. First is bell jar experiment. Place a plant inside the bell jar. We can see water droplets on the bell jar after some time. Then cobalt chloride paper test. Dry cobalt chloride paper of blue color becomes pink in contact with water vapor of transpiring leaf surface. Porometer is a device for measuring rate of transpiration. Now let us know significance of transpiration. It creates or exerts transpirational pull for absorption and transport in plants. Supplies water needed for photosynthesis. Transports minerals along with water from the soil to various parts of plant. Cools leaf surface. Sometimes it can lower the plant body temperature up to 10 to 15 degrees. Also help in maintaining the shape and structure of plants by keeping their cells in turgid condition. C4 plants are twice more efficient than C3 plants in the terms of fixing carbon dioxide. Now let us see difference between transpiration and guttation. Loss of water by formation in the form of vapor. Here loss of water by liquid water. Transpiration, the transpired water is pure water. Guttation water is a dilute solution of both organic acids and inorganic acids. Then occurs in general surface of leaf. It occurs only at marginal tips of leaf. Does not leave anything on surface. It leaves salts on the surface. Most of transpiration occurs during day. It occurs at early morning and night. Occurs through stomata, lenses, epidermal cells. Occurs through the water pores called Hydanthos. Low viscosity waxes, silicone emulsions, PMA, penyl mercuric acetate, ABA, abscisic acids are antitranspirants. That is, they reduce rate of transpiration without affecting CO2 uptake. Now, phloem transport or flow from source to sink. Long distance movement of organic substances move from source or supply end to the region of utilization or sink. Source and sink may be reversed. The pressure flow or mass flow of hypothesis proposed by E. Munch and elaborated with graphs. Organic substance flow in solution from form in the sieve elements, that is phloem, due to development of an osmotically generated pressure gradient between the source and sink end. Here you can see that transport from the source to sink. Source and sink may be differed. Now, gridding experiment given by Malfigi. Take a trunk tree and ring of bark up to phylum layer is carefully removed. Removed ring consists of phloem, cortex and cork. After few weeks, the basal above the ring on the stem swells. The leaf do not will but grow below the ring. Here you can see the growth of here the ring is removed with phloem. So the leaves above here are there. They produce ATP or energy. They send to the other parts. So while sending it, here we don't have phloem, so it will become swelled here. Whereas leaves below this part are alive. So above this part also alloy, but here we can see the swollen blood due to accumulation of nutrients. So by this we can say phloem transport nutrients, that is organic matter. So we have completed transporting glands. Thank you.